And we are live.
Trying to log in my other device so I can also see my screens. Okay. Can we start now? Okay. Actually, live. Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Okay, so we are live now. Yeah, I'm quite excited that we are here again. So we are going to wait till 4:05 so that we can have a number of us join us before we, yeah. You can see us. Someone said good evening, everyone, and happy Mother's Sunday from South Africa. Happy Mother's Sunday to thank you so much for that. Ma Lobo. I'm sorry for for pronouncing your name too kindly. Yeah, and you can as well give us a brief breakdown of how your Sunday is. Okay, so I can see Bukola. Bukola say good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bukola. How are you doing? Okay, I can see Alabi. Alabi, good evening. I'm fine. All right. Okay, so once it is 4:05, we kick off the class. All right. Yeah, Chika. Chika, it's obvious that you are a Catholic. Good Shepherd Sunday. Amazing. Come back. Thank you. Welcome back too. I can see Mary Jane. Mary Jane, good evening. How are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Rita and her brother Chimdi. Okay. Rita and Chimdike, how are you doing? You are welcome. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you so much. So for those of us that are just joining, once you join, help us to identify where you are joining from. Want to know where you're joining from. Okay. Okay, Chika says Obi and Kamso. Okay, Obi and Kamso, how are you doing? How are you doing? All right. Adebola said, this is Zion. Glad to be here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Moses. All right. So we are all welcome back again to our Super Sunday, Super Sunday lessons. And I hope so much that we are being transformed in this journey we started since the same in January, yes. So last week, who can remind us what we learned last week and what stood out for you? Okay, Moses said, I'm joining from Abuja, amazing. Because I said that's my second account. Okay, so I want someone to type in the comment section and what stood out for you? What stood out for you? What stood out for you during last week class? I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Okay, so while we do that, your network is bad and your voice is breaking. Are you sure? Please let others confirm that. Confirm if my really. Okay, I will try to be more audible. Probably, I don't know. Am I clearer now? Am I okay now? Is it better now? In the comment section what we learned last week. What stood out? While we do that, we are here today to take up the next class on Leadership Essential Masterclass series. So please confirm if my voice is okay now so that we can start off immediately. All right, someone said yes. Okay, much better. Thank you. I think we are good now. We are good to go now. All right, so we are welcome once again to the second part of our last week series, which is Leadership Essentials Masterclass series. We appreciate our last week tutor, which is Auntie or Coach Bemi. She did a wonderful and amazingly well, yes, last week. So she taught us a lot of things. She taught us a lot of things. And she taught us about being a leader wherever we are and how to be a leader. So while we wait for us to drop what stood out for us last week and how it has helped us this past week, we'll be looking into the second part of the series we started last week, which is motivation and conflict resolution. Motivation and conflict resolution. So that is what we'll be doing this afternoon. That's what we'll be doing this afternoon. So, but before we go further, can someone define what motivation? Okay, someone is asking for my name. Apologies. My name is Auntie Esther or Coach Esther. Yes, so that's my name. Okay. So who can define the word motivation for us? Can anyone define the word motivation? When you hear the word motivation, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? I am waiting. Okay, someone is giving us what he learned last week, which is I learned that leaders have good leadership skill, good leadership skills to be able to work in the group and lead purposefully. Amazing, 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 amazing. So can someone define motivation for us? So while we do that, please, Coach Victor, over to the next slide. Okay, someone said it. I think it means determination. Amazing, amazing. I think it means determination. Good. Motivation is okay, you took that down. All right. Motivation is having the energy to fulfill a certain task or job. Amazing. That's so good. Okay. All right. So the introduction, let's have our introduction. So motivation and conflict resolution, being your best self. Learning to work together, achieve your goal. So today we are going to explore two important life skills, which is motivation and conflict resolution. These skills will help you achieve your goals and build strong relationship with others. Okay, so when we talk about motivation and conflict resolution, I mean, this is one of those life skills that will save you from a whole lot. Okay, it will not just help you to achieve your goals, it will also help you to build and maintain strong relationships with others, which means that when you don't know how to self-motivate, and when you don't know how to handle conflict in your relationship, it can affect you and affect your relationships you have around you. Okay, so someone said motivation is the act of encouraging someone or yourself, or helping someone to achieve a goal. Superb, that's amazing. Motivation is the willingness to do something when you are determined. Very good. So let's look at the definition of motivation. We talk about motivation. What is it all about? I mean, all of our answers are amazing. So, but from our own perspective, let's have our definition of motivation as a result of this teaching this evening. Okay, motivation is the reason why you do something or work towards a goal. So motivation is the reason you do something or work towards a goal. So motivation is kind of a life wire. It's kind of something that pushes us to achieve things. All right. Is the reason why we want to do something. Is the reason why we set a goal and want to achieve it. So without motivation, we end up not achieving what it is that we have set out for ourselves. For example, I want to learn how to ride a bike. I want to make my parents proud. I want to help my communities. I mean, this is desires, and desires can only be bettered because motivation is present. If motivation is not present in the life of an individual, that person can never have the desire or the motivation to set up something they want to do. All right. So what motivates you as an individual? What motivates you? Think about what drives you to achieve your goal. If we set a goal and we don't have motivation to achieve that goal, what happens is we leave that goal unfulfilled. Because of what? Because we don't have enough motivation to push that goal. We don't have enough motivation to make sure that that goal comes to pass. All right. So this is the beginning of the term for a lot of people. I mean, around here in Nigeria. I don't know for those of us that are living outside Nigeria, but this is kind of a new term, right? Some of us have started off with a whole lot of goals we want to achieve. You want to achieve a lot of things. You want to go to school earlier. You want to make A's in your subjects. You want to be so good this time. You don't want to play as you used to, right? All these things, you are able to come up with those motivations because of what? Because you have motivations. Why you are coming up with those goals is because you have motivation. You want to be better. You want to go all out this time. You want to, be one of the top pupils in your academics. You want to achieve a whole lot of things. But guess what? If you don't have motivation and more motivation to push for those goals, guess what? Those goals will die off. They wouldn't see the light of the day because of what? Because we are not motivated enough to push for them. Okay, over to the next slide, please. All right, so now let's talk about types of motivation. Let's talk about types of, there are two types of motivation. Number one is the internal motivation. This is that that this is doing something because emotion is that motivation that comes within you. So whenever you hear internal, it is something that comes within us. So internal motivation is that kind of motivation that comes within us. It doesn't have to be someone speaking to us, it is something that comes within us. This motivation is the one that pushes us out most of the time to want to achieve great things. Okay. Please, if you have your question, um, maybe you should drop it as we go. We'll attend to that, okay? Because if I say you should keep it until question time, you may forget. So all right, so internal motivation has to do with something, that motivation that comes within you. And this is when, you end up telling yourself something like, I love playing music. I will try as much as possible to learn this. I'll try as much as possible to practice more. This is a motivation that comes within you. For another example is maybe you see someone in your school doing something amazingly well, and you want to, be like that person. You want to go all out for that person. All right, you want to go all out and kind of be like that person because that person has motivated you. You have ended up coming up with a motivation inside of you, all right, to achieve something, basically because of what you see around you. All right, now this is internal motivation. Now when you talk about external motivation, this is a motivation that comes from outside. When your mommy or your father or your daddy motivates you to, why not try out this thing? Why not? You are good at drawing. Why not try going for extracurricular activities, to just make your drawing skill to be better? Why not, do this thing? Why not do that thing? Motivation from teachers, motivation from friends, motivation from people around us. This is external motivation. Now, external motivation also has to do with doing something because of external reward or pressure. All right. So this motivation comes from the pressure we receive from people around us, from the pressure we receive from individuals around us. So understand what motivates you and use it to achieve your goals. So it's important for us to understand what motivates us. It's important for us to understand what pushes us. Some of you are so good at maybe act. You are so good at act, and because maybe sometimes you feel that you are out of place, you are not acting, or you are not doing like the other person, you feel laid back. Then you see someone pushing you to, why not? You are so good at this, you love doing this, why not try it? So it is important for us to know what motivates us, even when sometimes we don't feel like going all out for those things. It's important for us to learn how to push ourselves out there in order to achieve what it is that is we have within us. Okay, so you have to understand what motivates you, what pushes you to achieve purpose, what pushes you to do something, extraordinary things. And instead of laying back, it's important for us to go all out for those things, allow ourselves to be motivated, and also allow ourselves to go all out for our motivation. Because to it's one thing to be motivated. It's another thing for us to allow ourselves that motivation to push us into action. Okay. So, and when we are being motivated by external forces or external factors, it's important for us to take advantage of them, because sometimes internal motivation may not take us all out. For example, internal motivation will help you to desire to be top in the class, have straight A's and all that. But sometimes along the way, you may also need external motivation from friends around you, from parents, to do what? To continue. So that's why it's important for you to have good friends around you, friends who have the same goal and ambition you have. Because when you have a friend who will also want to do better in their academic system, it will become a strong motivation for you to to complete the goal you have already set for yourself. All right. So it's important for us to leverage on our internal motivations and our external motivations. Next one, please, sir. So now we have discussed about motivation. Let's go into the next topic, which is conflict resolution. Conflict resolution. So when we talk about conflict resolution, now I want to ask a question before we go further. Have you ever had a disagreement with your friend? uh, under the charts, on the chat box rather. So please, I will appreciate it if we focus on the class. All right. Okay. So I want to ask a question. Has any of us have a disagreement with our friends? Maybe you have a friend who, along the way, you guys have disagreements. Have you ever have something like that? Have you ever have something like that? So that is why it's important for us to pay attention even more on this particular topic, okay? So, well, we are talking about conflict resolution. What is it all about? Conflict resolution is all about finding a solution to a disagreement or problem. Conflict resolution, once again, okay? Am I better now? All right, so conflict resolution is all about finding solution. Really? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, let's go on. So conflict resolution is all about finding a solution to a disagreement or problems. So as you grow, as you mature, even as you meet people, the honest truth is, at times will come when you will have disagreements with people. There are times will come there are times when people will not agree with you. People will not agree to your ideas. They will not agree to your values, right? So, but it's important for us. That's why it is important, rather, for us to learn conflict resolution. So, conflict resolution will help us to find solution to our disagreements or problems. So, when we find ourselves in such situation, conflict resolution will help us to handle them. It will help us to, find a solution to that problems instead of allowing that disagreement to part us up, split us rather. So examples of conflict resolution: a friend took your favorite toy without asking. This is a disagreement. When a friend, took your favorite toy without even asking, when you disagree with a family member, right? So these are examples of problems. Sometimes it can even be a friend tearing your book. It can even be a friend, maybe someone you learned your textbook or your exercise book, and the person gets home to pour oil on it. I don't know if any of you have experienced something like that. So the person end up pouring an oil on it or tearing it apart, and there they are back to school with your book, and it's such in unrecognizable states that you are wondering, what will I ever make out of you because of this that you have done to my book? So sometimes it can even be siblings, all right? When you drop something that is so personal for you, and then your siblings pick it up and even without asking, without feeling any remorse, what do? Will you not start fighting? No. Learning conflict resolution will help us to manage these situations. It will help us to manage our disagreements. Because of what? Because because it is important that we resolve situations and move ahead. So conflict resolution, conflict happens, but we can resolve them peacefully if we actually learn how to do that. Okay, so that is why this topic is very, very important, and it's so beautiful, and it's something that you really need to learn so that you wouldn't, keep having issues in your relationships. So let's move to the next slide, sir. Now, there are steps to conflict resolution. There are steps to conflict resolution, and this is the steps. There are 5 steps to conflict resolution. So number 1 is stay calm. Stay calm. Number 2 is listen. Number 3 is respect. Number 4 is communicate. Number 5 is find a solution. Find a solution. So if we are to place it as an acronym, is SLRCF. SLRCF. Can someone type that in the box, chat box for us? SLRCF. SLRCS. So the first one is calm, stay calm. The next one is listen. The R there is respect. The C there is communicate. The last one is find a solution. So when you talk about staying calm, this is when you take a deep breath and remain. Thank you. SLRCF. Amazing. So stay calm, listen, respect, communicate, find a solution. Amazing. So this is staying calm is all about, when there is conflict like this, everybody is angry, everybody want to talk, everybody want to express themselves, right? So, but the first thing you must do when you are angry or when you have a conflict is to stay calm. Just find a way to stay calm. Find a way to stay calm. And you can do that through deep breath, deep breathing. You breathe in from your nose. Let the breath come from your stomach. So you breathe in from your stomach to your nose, from your nose rather. Then you exhale with your mouth. So you stay calm. Another way you can as well stay calm is when you decide to walk out of that environment at that point. So it can be you, maybe if it is in the classroom, for example, you can decide to take a walk, maybe go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and then come back, maybe go there, wash your face, stay around, then come back to that situation in the classroom. So sometimes it may be you taking a glass of water, okay? Just go and sip some water. So to some people, taking deep breath walk. To some people, it could be, walking out of that situation at that point. But just the goal is to stay calm. You're not working at that situation because you don't know what to do, but because you actually need to control yourself. You actually need to stay calm. You need to stay calm. So the first goal when you have conflict is to stay calm. Stay calm. Try as much as possible to remain calm. All right, because sometimes when we are angry, we can end up making mistakes. We end up saying things that we are not supposed to say. We can end up, even damaging things for some people that have anger issues, right? So it's important for you to stay calm, all right? So the number 2 thing is to listen. Now you have stayed calm, you have walked out of the situation, or you have taken your deep breath, you are better off at this point. You want to listen. You want to hear the other person's perspective. You want to hear why they actually behaved the way they did. Okay. So for example, let me give you a typical example. Let's say, for example, Toby took my pen. And of course, no, Toby, I lent Toby my pen, and then Toby returned the pen broken. Like, he has finally damaged the pen. And this is not the first time. So now I am angry. The way I am angry at Toby, I can even fight him, because this is a pen that was given to me, by my parents. So what do I do? Now I am angry at Toby. This is Toby standing in front of me, telling me, Esther, see your pen. I am sorry that I broke it. And it's all just occurred to me that the last time I gave Toby my pen, he broke it. He broke it the last time I gave you. The same thing happened. The same thing happened. So what do I do? So I decide to step out, because if I open my mouth to say anything to Toby, it's going to be hurtful. So what I do is, I'll, like, using this conflict resolution, right? I decide to walk out. I decide to say, Toby, just give me 5 minutes, or excuse me, I'm coming back. So I get into the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, just maybe wash my face or wash my hands, use the restroom, come back. So I want to ask Toby. Now, I want to listen to Toby. I want to find out why Toby did what he did. So what do I do? Listen to my statement now. So I said to Toby, I felt so bad that each time I lend you my pen, you end up breaking it. Why does that have to repeat all the time? Okay, now this is me expressing myself to Toby, and I'm using the word I feel. Toby, I feel so bad. I feel so angry at you that you broke my pen. I feel so bad about that. I want to understand, why will you, keep breaking my pen anytime I give it to you? So now, at this point now, Toby will now express to me. I will now listen to Toby to find out why my pen got broken. So you maybe, if I'm patient enough with Toby, just like we are demonstrating, we may find out that Toby, it's Toby brother that keep breaking his pen. You might find out that someone else in the classroom is often careless with, pen. Maybe Toby, out of the heart of goodness, lend my pen to someone else, and then that person end up breaking it. So the important thing is, I really need to listen to Toby to find out what happened. So the first one is stay calm. The second one is listen. The next one is respect. Okay. So while Toby is busy explaining himself or expressing himself, I should be able to respect Toby's I should be able to respect Toby feedback, right? I don't really have to call him names. I don't really have to treat him as if, I don't make mistake. I don't really have to treat him as if I am perfect. So I really have to, listen to Toby, respect what he is saying. In as much as I'm angry at him for breaking my pen, I need to also respect respect what he is saying. Respect the fact that some of the time it is out of his control that his pen got broken. So it's important for me to also respect Toby's explanation. Okay, so that's the third one. The third one is respect. She treats people with kindness and respect. So instead of calling him names, instead of feeling as if what they are saying doesn't matter, or it doesn't it's not necessary or thereabout. It's important for us to treat others with kindness and respect when we are listening to them. All right. So the next one is share communication. Communicate. Here you share your feelings and thoughts clearly. Here I need to tell Toby that, CEO, I am so angry that each time I handed over my pen to him, it's usually broken. All right. So I need to explain the implication of that, what he is doing, the implication of him having to break my pen every time I hand it over to him. So here I need to really communicate to Toby. I need to communicate to him how I felt, how the implication of what he is doing is affecting me as an individual. So at this point, I need to communicate and share my thoughts clearly to him. Okay, so now the next one is find a solution. So now I have finished sharing my thoughts with Toby. I've explained to him that this is what I feel, and this is the implication of him having to break my pen. Maybe the implication may even entail my parents not having to give me another pen for weeks, or it may even implies that that pen is even someone's own, and handing it over to him has ended up putting me into a conflict with another individual, right? So I need to explain to him. Now that I have finished explaining to him, we will now find a solution. So now I have communicated to Toby. So he too will also talk, right? So I will now ask him at this point now, what do you think we can do? How do you think we can solve this problem? Because this pen was given to me by my parents, or I learned, it was someone's own too. So what is it that we are supposed to do at this point? So Toby may try to dodge the fact that he will get another pen for me or thereabout. But in as much as he's running away from it, I have to put it up to him that, see, you have to get me another pen. You have to you have to get me another pen. You have to, do something. Even if you're not giving me the money for everything, at least to show to show that what is it again? To show that you are sorry, yes, for breaking my pen. You have to do something about it. Okay. So here, me and Toby, we agree on the solution. Either he's getting another pen for me, or he's giving me money to get another pen for me, or he's going to talk to my parents that he's the one that broke it. Maybe because of always giving him my pen, it has ended up not it has ended me not having a good relationship with my parents whenever it comes to pen, right? So he has to either come to speak to my parents on my behalf, or he gets me another pen, or he give me money to get another pen. So whatever it is, we have to come to a solution under this part. So remember, number one is to stay calm. Number two is to listen. Number three is to respect. Number four is to communicate. Number five is to find a solution. Find a solution. Okay? So let's get to the next slide. Are we following? Okay. So active listening. So let's talk about active listening for a while now. Let's talk about active listening. All right, so active listening is a key when it comes to conflict resolution. Active listening, paying attention to and understanding the other person's perspective is very important. Sometimes you may even be thinking that someone is doing something unintentionally until you listen to that person to find out what is happening. Sometimes you may think that your friends is maybe gossiping you, or intentionally doing something that you don't like. Without you may sometimes feel like that, but it will surprise you to find out that it's not true, when you actively listen. So it's important for us to practice active listening, because if we must handle our conflict with our siblings, with our friends, with our teachers, with our parents, if we must handle conflicts very well, it is important for us to learn how to listen. learn how to listen very well. And yeah, so the tips, number one is maintain eye contact. When you are listening, when you are listening to someone, it's important for you to maintain eye contact with the person. So you are not listening to someone and you are pressing phone, or you're listening to someone and doing something else. The honest truth is you may not be able to understand fully what that person is communicating, because sometimes someone may be saying something with their mouth and their body language is saying another thing. And we can only understand that when we pay attention, to that person, when we listen actively. So it's important for us to maintain eye contact when we are listening to someone. So number two is ask open-ended question. Ask open-ended question. So who can give us example of open-ended question? Thank you, Bukola. Bukola said, active listening is a practice of engaging closely with what a speaker is saying and indicating understanding, typically by asking relevant questions, using gestures and summarizing. Thank you so much for that. So open-ended question, instead of you to ask a question like, Shoma did was right. Do you think what Shoma did is right? So instead of you asking that question, do you think what Shoma did is right? Is a question that has to do, is a close-ended question. It's a question that has to do with yes or no. But if you ask a question like, what did you think about, or what do you think about Shoma's action? So with this, the person will be able to say a whole lot of things, even without you having to, say much. Okay, because it's an open-ended question. Open-ended question put people in the place of saying more things about the situation instead of using the yes or no format. Open-ended question helps people to put a whole lot of words into what they are saying instead of using yes or no. Okay, so when we are listening, it's important for us to question the person we are listening to. It's important for us to ask them open-ended question. So let's say, for example, just like I used Toby misusing my pen. So I can ask Toby something like, Toby, what exactly is going on? Why do you keep spoiling my pen each time I lend it to you? What is happening? Okay, so with this now, Toby will be able to communicate to me like, okay, this is what is happening. Each time I make use of your pen, there's this boy in my class that I'm owing pen. He will snatch the pen from me, break it. It could be maybe a teacher walks into the classroom and saw me writing. He was about to flog me when the cane eventually spoiled the pen. Or because of I asked open-ended question, Toby will be able to do what? Tell me all those things. Okay, so the next one is avoid interruptions, sorry. Avoid interruption. So when, let's say for example, the Toby thing with me. So let's say for example, Toby was talking, if I interrupt Toby, I may end up not getting the whole gist, the whole thing that has been going on with him when it comes to pen. Okay, so but if I allowed him to say a whole lot, I'll be able to get the information I want. So instead of interrupting people when they are talking to us, it's important for us to allow them to finish up their explanation so that we can be able to understand what is happening to them and how we can support them, or rather how we can resolve the situation at hand. So over to the next slide, please. Okay, so practicing motivation and conflict resolution. So now this is the practical part of it. The practical part of it. So now this is also going to be an assignment to each and every one of us. It's going to be an assignment to each and every one of us. So number one assignment is set a personal goal. So if we are to during the week, we can decide to, of course, this is an assignment, right? So, but we are going to be explaining it here too. Okay, so this is how you put conflict resolution and motivation into practice. Number one is set a goal. Set a goal. Just decide this today as you're listening to me, to set at least one goal. It can be reading your book, reviewing your book every time the teacher leaves the classroom. Reviewing your book every time the teacher leaves the classroom. So this is the one goal you have set for yourself, right? So number two is practice active listening with a friend or family member. So remember, the first goal is is reading the book once the teacher step out of the classroom. It's important for you to know that motivation that is helping us to set this goal now, right? So it's important for us to also maintain that motivation if we must actually fulfill this goal, or rather achieve this goal at the end of the week. So that is where external motivation comes in. So this internal motivation has helped you to come up with this particular goal. So it's important for you to do what? To also engage something like accountability partner, a friend who you can decide to work towards this goal with, or you can decide to involve your parents. They would let them serve as an accountability partner with you. So you tell mommy, I want every day when I come during this week, when I come back from school, or rather in the classroom, once the teacher leaves the class, I'll open up the book, the topic, and review it. Or rather, when I come back from school, this is one thing I want to read for 10 minutes this week, every day. Okay, so now you have spoken with your parents. Then they will supply you with external motivation. Your internal motivation is there. So, but external motivation will keep you going when your motivation starts getting exhausted, right? So that's the first assignment. So the first assignment is set up a goal that you are going to work towards this week. One goal, just one. Number two is practice active listening with a friend or a family member. So the next assignment is to practice active listening. It could be with your friend, could be with your family member, your siblings, and all that. So remember the rule. Number one, okay, that's a conflict resolution, right? So remember the rule. Yes, the rule includes not interrupt, not maintain eye contact, don't interrupt when they are explaining, and ask ended open-ended question. Don't maintain eye contact, ask open-ended question, and don't interrupt. So this is the 3 rules of active listening. So practice it with someone this week. So you ask that person a question, or maybe that person is talking to you. You look at them eyeball to eyeball, and once they are done, you ask them open-ended question. So what do you want me to do regarding what you just said to me? That's an open-ended question. So you will find out that he or she will start saying what it is that they want you to do. Then after that, you can now remember no interruption, right? So at the end, you can decide to give them a counsel, whatever it is that comes to you when they were talking. So you decide to offer them the solution you think it is best for them when regarding what they shared with you. Okay, that's number 2 assignment. So number 3 assignment is resolve a conflict using the 5 steps. So I don't know, over the time, I know that some of you must have had conflict with your siblings, even today, even maybe as you are watching this now. I know you must have, she must have told the other person to bring it at the middle. Okay, or yeah, stop talking, or yeah, stop typing. I mean, some of you are already having conflict in the group chat there, right? So decide to practice the conflict resolution using the 5 steps. Number 1 is what? X. That is stay calm, calm down, stay calm. Okay. Number 2 is what? Who can remember? X what? I'm still waiting for us. So XL. So once you are calm, the next thing for you to do is to listen to that person. Listen to what the person has to say. Okay. Number 2 is what? Respect. You have to respect the person's view. Respect what it is they are saying. Okay. Don't call them names. Allow them to express themselves and respect their point of view. Okay. The next one is communicate. Communicate what you think about the situation. Communicate how you feel. Express yourself using the I word. I feel. Okay, using the I word. So the next one is find a solution. Find a solution towards what is happening. Okay, so now is your turn. Practice motivation and conflict resolution in your daily life, because it's going to help you to achieve a whole lot of things. It's really, really going to help you, because if you don't learn how to use your motivation, if you don't learn how to solve conflict, it will not just affect you, it will also affect your relationships with others. So over to the next slide, sir. All right. I see Bukala. Bukala said, stay calm, listening. Yes, respect communication. Very good. Thank you so much. All right. So in conclusion, be yourself. In conclusion, be yourself. Motivation and conflict resolution are essential life skills. Remember to stay motivated, listen actively, and resolve conflict peacefully. So it's important for you to learn how to stay motivated. Okay, listen actively, because that is the one of the key ways to resolve conflict. All right. So the next one is understand what motivates you and use it to achieve your goals. What motivates you? Use it to achieve your goals. All right. So the next one is you have the power to achieve your goals and build strong relationships. Keep practicing and be your best self. So initially when you start, it may not be as easy as as it should be, right? So if you keep practicing it, if you keep practicing it over and over again, you will keep getting better. Better in active listening, better in conflict resolution, better in using your motivation. Okay, so it's important for you to learn how to use your motivation as well as your as well as active listening and conflict resolution. Know what motivates you, all right? What motivates you into action. Know what motivates you. To some of you, it could be something like maybe singing or thereabouts. So learn what motivates you and integrate it into your goals. Because, for example, if you tell yourself something like, if if I am able to read through this book in this week, just like the goal we set, I'll be able to do this. So some of you, it's movie. If I'm able to do this, I'll reward myself with this. Okay, so motivation is important. Learn how to integrate your motivation into your goals and make use of external motivations, even as you also make use of internal motivations. Listen actively and learn how to handle your conflict resolution. So this is our conclusion for tonight, this evening program. So let me read through if there is any question, this is the question time. Yeah, thank you. So this is a question time. So any question in the chat box? I can see that most of you are busy with, okay. Okay, any question? Any question? All right, so at this point, I will hand over, take us through the read and every other thing. Okay, so I'm here
Thank you
to
so
find
much.
any question in the chat box.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for the amazing class. Can we all say a big thank you to Coach Esther? Can I see your thank you in the comment section? Today's class was an amazing class. Even though most of you were making a noise in the comment section, a lot of you were busy chatting and saying a lot. So thank you, Ma. It was an amazing class. Motivation and conflict resolution, very important for every aspiring leader. You must know how to stay motivated and you must know how to resolve conflict. You must know how to resolve conflict. Okay. All right. So we'll be taking our creed right away. Okay. So just give me a few minutes to share this screen. Okay. Yeah. So let's take our creed. Remember, you say it with all confidence. Say it with all you've got. This is our confession. So let's go. I am a Pdac ambassador. I am a child of God. I understand myself. I discover, develop, and unleash my God-given potential. I have strong beliefs and values that guide my actions and decisions. I cultivate good habits and follow principles that lead me to success. I am a confident and inspiring speaker. I dream big dreams, set smart goals, make great plans, and take quick steps to make my dreams come true. I am a great leader. I inspire myself and others to achieve great things. I believe in myself and I have a positive self-image. I understand and manage my emotions well, and I am sensitive to others' feelings. I am proud to be a Pdac ambassador and will fulfill my duties with love, respect, excellence, and dedication. So help me God. Amen. All right. So thank you all for joining us today. Remember your assignment. Make sure you do your assignment and do have a wonderful and amazing week. Bye, everyone.